Welcome to 2.3 histograms. So histograms are going to be a lot like bar graphs from the last one. The only really difference here is that now you can see that our bars are going to be touching. The last time there was like a space in between each of the bars, right? Now they're actually like, right side by side. And then the next thing is that what these are going to represent is a certain like amount of time in the bottom. So or people or something, but it goes from like 0 to 6 o'clock. So it's saying from that time range from 0 to 6 o'clock, two airplanes came in. This is a 24-hour clock. If you're wondering why it started at 0 and it goes to 24. So anyway, so from that time frame, so within those 6 hours, two planes came in. That's kind of how this is going to work. So we just need to be able to read these things now. So not too bad. It says how many planes are scheduled to arrive between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Well, first thing, we need to be able to read a 24-hour clock to even know what that is. So if you need a little refresher on how to read a 24-hour clock, 12 p.m., that'd be like noon, right? 13 would be 1. 14 would be 2. 15 would be 3. 16 would be 4. You can see that what we're doing every time is subtracting 12 from those, right? So if 13 is 1 o'clock, 14 was 2, 15 was 3, 16 was 4, 17 was 5. So we're just subtracting 12 from each one of those. An easy way to do it is I just kind of I take like the second number and subtract 2, and then that's what you're at. I just kind of ignore that one even. So 7 minus 2 would be 5. So little like easy way to do it. But anyway, the question said from 2 p.m. or between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. So I'm looking at, between this number and that number. That's where we're at, between 14 and 15. And then all you have to do is just read the graph. 4. There's 4 planes that come in. If you look over to the side there, right? That's how high that is. So not too bad, right? So that one would be 4. What are the busiest times at the airport? How many planes are scheduled to arrive at these times? So you can kind of see the busiest times looking up here. So I'd say the first busiest time is going to be right here, right? That's probably our busiest time. And then that one and that one. And then we just need to figure out how to kind of write that down. So that busiest time, that first one that I was pointing at up here, that happened between 11 and 12 on our 24-hour clock. So the first one would be between 11 and 12. And that's what makes this a histogram, right? It's because it's between 11 and 12. It's not just a single number. It's like a series of numbers in between there. So that was the first one. The next one was between 1500 and 1600, or you could say between 3 and 4. And then the third one was between 1700 and 1800, or 5 and 6. And you should probably have 5 p.m. p.m. to 6 p.m. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And this was 12 a.m. or 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Or 12 p.m., I guess that would be. All right. What's the quietest time? So the quietest time. Okay, so for what's the quietest time, we can look down here and say, okay, well, that one's pretty quiet. So is that one. So is that one. This one's pretty quiet, but not as low as these ones. But we need to kind of look over here carefully because it says that this one was between 0 and 6 p.m. So there's 6 hours that go from here to here, right? When there's only 1 hour in between the rest of them, right? This goes up by hours all the way, like a single hour. So that means in 6 hours, there's only 2 planes. Whereas if I look right there, there's only 1 hour, we get 2 planes. So our quietest time is going to be between midnight and 6 a.m. So 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Are any airplanes scheduled to arrive between 4 and 5 a.m.? So the problem with this, what we have right now from 0 to 6, we don't know when those are coming in. We just know that between 0 and 6 is going to be um, when we're going to get 2 planes. We don't know if that's between 4 and 5 or not. It might be between 5 and 6 is when those planes come in. It might be from 0 to 4 where they come in. So we don't really know. So not enough information. Okay. Okay, so let's do this build your skills one. I'm going to let you guys do most of the answering here. So it says the histogram below shows the amount of money that households in one province spent on home renovations during the past year. So up the left side, we've got number of households. Along the bottom, we've got amount spent. How many households spent less than $1,000 on renovations? So remember how these histograms work now. From 0 up until 1,000, right? It's from there to there. So that's everything less than 1,000. Anybody who falls into that bucket or into that category of being less than 1,000 will be represented by this histogram there, or by this bar there, right? So really, we just need to figure out how far up this bar goes. So I'm going to let you guys answer that one. Okay, B. What was the most common amount spent? So this one's going to be between two numbers. We're not going to really have like an exact amount, but we're going to have like a between two numbers. So I'll let you guys answer 1B now. And then C, what was the highest amount spent? So answer that now. Okay, moving on. So number 2, an internet service provider surveyed some of its customers across Canada to find out how much time people spend on the internet each week. The following histogram shows the results. Okay, so we got up the left side, we got number of people. Across the bottom, we've got hours spent per week that they're on the internet. All right, how many people spend between 10 and 15 hours on the internet each week? I'll let you guys answer that now. Okay, B, how many people spend less than 15 hours on the internet each week? All right, for this one, we're going to have to start at 15 hours. And then we want to know how many people are really like below this. How many people actually, fall into that category. So in this case, we're going to have 3 different ones that you are going to need to add up. Right? We got to figure out how much are going to be between that 0 and 5 range, and then add that to how many people would be between the 5 and 10 range, and then how many would be between the 10 and 15 range. So I'll let you guys do that now. Okay, C, how many people spend more than 30 hours on the internet each week? So more than 30. So answer that now. And then D, approximately how many people were surveyed? Okay. Moving on. Okay, so now in example 2 here, what we're going to be doing, instead of just looking at a histogram and figuring out how to read it, what we're going to do is you guys are going to make a histogram. There's going to be a question like this on the test at the end too, so make sure that you know how to do this. I'm going to let you guys look through example 2 because it's pretty straightforward, I think, on how to do it. And then we'll go through one together for 3 here. So 3 says an insurance company did a confidential survey of the ages of employees in the company to estimate how many would be retiring in the coming years. The results are shown in the table below. Use the data to draw a histogram. Okay. Okay, so I've kind of started my table like this. So you guys need to pause the video and catch up to where I'm at. So draw this out. Use a ruler, please. Don't just have a bunch of squiggly lines everywhere. Use a ruler to do this. And then once you got that drawn out, then press play again. Okay, so now that we're at this point, we're going to go, so less than 25. That's going to be between here and here, right? There and there. And that's only going to be one person. So it looks like between that whole age down there, that's just going to be a bar that goes from like there to there. I'm going to make them different colors just so we can kind of see the differences here easily. Okay. Then the next one is going to be between 25 and 34. So I made my scale on the bottom go from 25 to 35, right? So everything between that is like, 25 to 34. So it's like everything below there. And it looks like there's going to be 6 people in that category. So I'm going to go up to about 6 and then down. And then 35 to 44. So 35 to 44 says 8. So I'm going to go up. Not quite to 10. And then down. And then 45 to 54. So that goes up to just past 15, so 16 there. Okay, and then the last one, 55 to 64. And that goes up to 24. All right, and then 65 and older, our last one. That is just going to be, maybe I'll make that color, just up to 6. So that's going to be about there. Okay, and that's our histogram. Okay, next one. All right, so looking at this one, we've got the same type of thing. I'm going to let you guys do it. Before we get going, though, I just want to make sure you understand what these symbols are here. When it says age, it says that means less than 20. So that symbol there, so that's less than 20. So when you make your grid here, you'd have one that probably starts at 20 here. So then less than 20 just means like in this area is what that would mean, right? And then the last symbol here, greater than 70, that's going to be your one on the end. You'd have like 70 plus, right? That was that one where we had, that'd be this area on the end. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go ahead and do that. You're going to have age on the bottom, number of people up to the left. Make sure you do this. I want to see these before you guys do your test, so they need to be done. Okay, B, when you're done that, says how many people under the age of 30 attend the presentation. C, from the table, can you tell the age of the youngest audience member? Why or why not? All right. All right, so for the practice your new skills part of it, I'm pretty sure this should be pretty straightforward to you guys to do these practice ones now. What I'm going to get you to do, though, is you're going to do this on your own. I'm not going to go through every one in the video. You're going to do it, and you're going to show me before you move on, please. Yeah, so how many students receive a mark between 70, 80, yada, yada, yada. So there's that one. Number 2, where you're just reading it again. Number 3, you're creating your own and then answering those questions. And number 4, you're answering your own and answering those questions, or you're doing your own. And then we're going to pick up with circle graphs in the next one. Okay, so make sure that you guys go ahead and do those questions on your own, and that I want to see graphs or the histograms, and I want to see the questions answered on your sheet, okay? All right, so I'm going to end that one there.